All right.
What's that Landry handoff play called?
The Landry handoff play is called, it's just a regular running play. It was just misdirection. We call it pike, one back power. It's just handed to the wide receiver.
You used it obviously very well the second time too. Did you just see something at the goal line there that you felt like that was a good situation again?
Well, I told, like Luke he knows what we're running most of the time, and just kind of playing off that, changing his eyes. We've flipped the ball earlier in the year off the same formation, and I know he didn't think we'd run it 2 times in a row, But he's a good player, and sometimes good players, they're good players because they know the tendencies of offenses, and we kind of played off that a little bit.
How important was it for you to just find another way to get the ball into Landry's hands, get him more involved? It seemed like everybody just kind of got energized off it.
Yeah, I think anytime you make big plays, whoever's making them energizes the team as a whole. And Jarvis is definitely an electric kind of personality and player. And anytime you can get the ball in Jarvis's hands, it's good.
What did you think of his catch? I mean, obviously it was a great throw too, but the 51-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that was he split the coverage, and he caught a contested ball. And good receivers in this league catch contested footballs. And he made a good play on the ball. He was where he was supposed to be, and made a play on the ball, and it was a big play for us, of course.
Freddie, what did Perryman show you when he got here that earned your trust and you kind of keep expanding his role?
Well, size and speed, first of all, is the first thing he shown, and then he showed that he had good hands, and he can get open, and receivers have to get open. They have to catch the ball when they get open, and he's done that, and we're going to keep finding ways to get him the ball and try to keep him active.
I mean, we saw the first catch and then the late catch he had, but did he also have an impact? He was the guy running the fake end around on those Jarvis, handoffs. I mean, what kind of impact is he having for you?
I think it's, a guy with that kind of size and that kind of speed, of course, has an impact when he has the ball in his hand. But really what I saw, it was a play that went for like a 2-yard gain earlier in the year when we handed the speed sweep to him. And, he wasn't afraid. He took on the tacklers on the edge, and it ended up being a 2-yard play. But when he had the ball in his hand, he brought it. So I like physical, big guys like that can play and that seems to enjoy playing the game. It's all about playing the game for those guys. And when you have a guy that loves the game of football, of course, that's an advantage.
You showed a propensity to dip into the bag of tricks or go deep and take your shots. When you guys took this thing over a couple weeks ago, it just seemed like you guys had nothing to lose. So how much of how you call games and some of the plays that you go to, how much of that is coaching with nothing to lose, and how much of that is just really truly that's who you are as a coordinator?
I think I don't know that I agree with your term nothing to lose. I think every time you step on the field you have something to lose. I don't, I'm a week to week kind of guy, and I call the game, and the offensive staff prepares for the game, and the players prepare for the game to win on a week-to-week basis, even a day-to-day basis. And that's the way I approach every call I make. It's not necessarily to win the game with that call, but you're either setting something up or to be successful. You don't call plays to be unsuccessful. So, I don't care. I'm calling the play to win that game, and it didn't matter at what point of the year I started. I know the way I was going to do it from the very beginning, and that's not going to change. It wouldn't matter what game or how big the game was or whatever, who we're playing. I had a coach a long time ago tell me that those games that you're supposed to win, people would like to call those aren't big games. Well, this is a big game. Well, hell, you lose one of those games that you're supposed to win and see how big it is. And that's kind of the approach I take to calling plays.
What day last week did you know you were going to call the bomb to Perryman?
Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
What effect do you think that play had on the rest of the game?
I think anytime you can start fast, of course, it gives energy. First of all, to the crowd, to the team, and some guys that may have doubted. I don't think we had anybody that doubted, but some people may have doubted. Whatever it is, who you're playing may come into play sometimes with that. It just gives confidence to the group that, hey, we can do what we said. When you tell them we're going to do something And they knew we were going to do that the first play of the game. When you tell them you're going to do it and you do it and it's successful, then you build some validity to the fact of what you wanted to do, what you tried to do, and what they were going to do. And that's what happened.
Given what you just said about starting fast, would you like to have the ball first sometimes?
It doesn't matter to me. That's a team. This is a team game, and we discuss that as coaches, and whatever we decide to do in the present time, it doesn't matter to me. Offense, defense, it's a team game, and that's the way we approach it. That's a team decision. So yeah, everybody's a part of it.
How well did Baker play in that game? What did he show you? And what new things maybe are you finding out about him each and every week?
I don't know that I'm finding out anything new about him. I think he's continuing to grow. First off, Baker's a competitor, and when you compete, you come back like he did against Houston, and you play well in the second half. Now, not to say everything was right in the second half, but he competed. And that's the way he is on a week-to-week basis and a day-to-day basis. And we have these competitive periods during practice, and that's the way he is then. So in saying that, he's the type of guy that any challenge you put in front of him, whether it be during the course of the week or during a game with one particular play, he's going to treat that play and attack that play with the utmost respect from the standpoint of being prepared to accomplish that play. And that's what he impresses me with. Each play he wants to be successful. Sometimes that's bad, sometimes that's good. But most of the time, that's very good quality in a quarterback.
Along those lines, he seems like he's handling the pocket pressure so much better than he did earlier in the year. Is that just happened organically, or was there something scheme-wise you guys did on the edge to maybe make him find those slots better?
I would say this about a quarterback. If he knows where his eyes are supposed to be, then he's comfortable staying where he's at, all right? And I think that's the thing that we tried to work on, Kenny's working on, everybody's kind of working on, making sure his eyes are in the right place so he knows directly where to go with the ball if it's not open, his first read's not open. So I think that's what he's getting more comfortable with. But also some of the bigger plays now, just because you move around in the pocket doesn't mean you don't know where to go with the ball. Sometimes you're just buying yourself just a little extra time like you did on Jarvis's. I mean, he's not escaping. He's like shuffling around to find a throwing lane or whatever to get the ball to Jarvis, and he did that. He's done that very well.
He seems to have a real ability to feel the rush.
Yes, and I think that comes with a little playing experience and again, knowing where his eyes are and knowing the timing of the certain routes when he needs to buy a little bit more time. And it doesn't have to be but 6 inches, 8 inches, just moving a little bit in the pocket gets him in the position to throw the ball where the ball's supposed to go on any particular play.
Is that innate, just natural ability, or is that learned, the ability to feel the rush?
I think it's experience. I think it's something that, of course, you can learn, but you have to see yourself do it wrong and then correct that and know that you have to adjust, you have to take the feeling that you had when the play was going on and equate it to the film and then go back and say, well, this is the same type of situation, and it becomes a feel, if that answers the question.
Late in the game when you guys were backed up and he rolled right in the end zone and found Perriman, was that design like that? How much of it was him improvising, and then what read was Perriman?
It was a design. Design rollout, and to get him away from the middle of the field, and Perriman was the second read in it, and Perriman did a great job of. Rashad did a great job of staying on the move and giving him somewhere to throw the ball because the ball was supposed to go to the flat to Nick, and they took Nick out and. Both of them stayed on the move and made the play.
How much trust do you have to have, though, in your rookie quarterback in that situation to pull that off?
Yeah, well, I have trust that he's going to make the plays, and I have trust that the line's going to protect, and I have trust that the receivers are going to make the play when it puts in there. And I told you guys a long time ago, this is trust and respect, and I think we're building that.
A couple more. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and just the challenges those two guys present for you guys this week?
Well, I think stats indicate that they're two of the best in the league, and hopefully we can protect and hold up. And I think those guys are up to the challenge up front for us. And we're going to get their best shot, but they're going to get ours. And we'll see how it goes.
Bradley Chubb, they're dropping him into coverage and doing some different things with him. What's making him so special?
He's just a good player all around. His size and strength and length, all of it's good qualities for a defensive player, especially when they rush, and hopefully they'll drop him all day.
Chris Hubbard told me that he made some he made some changes to his stance and how he drops. How have you seen him get better over the last half of the season? And how big a role has he played in the fact that you guys only give him 1 sack in the last 4 weeks?
I think all those guys, but Chris in particular has played better the last few weeks. And the thing that people don't understand about offensive line play is that those guys have to kind of be a unit within itself, and they have to play together a lot, and they have to trust each other inside, that the other one's got their back. If they set a little wider, the guy's going to be inside to help them a little bit more. So I think it's all a cohesive type unit thing where he has gotten better with his technique, and a lot of offensive line play is just technique. And if you can be good with technique, which Bob and Hutt have, been really coaching it well the last couple of weeks and hammering their techniques in, and I think you've seen the results of it.
Greg said last week that the decision to defer is a case-by-case basis. It's not automatic every game. What factors go into it?
The time that the ball's kicked off. With night game, we like to. No, I'm just kidding. But just several factors go in it. Like as far as what kind of offense they have, what kind of defense they have, what kind of kicker they have. Several little things I couldn't tell you in particular. It changes week to week. What's the most important factor that we feel like is in the game?
How's Joel Bitonio played this season throughout the season?
I think Joel's played very well, and I think he's had his best couple of games as of late. And I think all those guys up front are doing a great job in the run game, in the pass game. Sometimes they've done some things defensively that's taken away from some of the runs, and then they've picked it up in the pass protection area. So I think those guys are doing well and competing every day, and hopefully it continues.